Our mission is to make the most approachable kombucha tea that we possibly can, staying true to the tea leaves itself and to the fermentation process. The way that our product is different, it's a fermented tea. It's essentially doing, just as a quick background, kombucha is a process that's doing what alcohol is doing and what vinegar is doing at the same time. And if the fermentation process is controlled and regulated really well, then neither of those activities will dominate the other. So if temperature's not regulated well, vinegar is going to win. And so that's why a lot of times kombucha will be really tart or involve an acquired taste. And in this case, my goal is to find that place in between where it's not sweet and it's not sour, nothing dominates. So part of that's the attention to the tea steeping process. We have two steeps. The first one's at 190 degrees and the second one's at 200 degrees for a certain amount of time, and that's just where we find the best attributes of the tea come out. So that's one. The other part is the fermentation process regulating the temperature throughout, and then the third bit is just our flavor profile and trying to encapsulate California in a bottle. The target market, I'd want to say everyone, but I would really want to say just anybody that wants to have a functional beverage that isn't super loaded with sugar or additives, but something that's easily digestible and beneficial to the stomach. So really anybody that wants to care about what they're drinking and eating would be our target. We have, Northern California, we have really solid bottle distribution and keg distribution in various cities, other cities as well. And so Whole Foods region in Northern California, and hopefully we'll find our way to get bottles on a shelf in another region as well. But it seems to be our niche is draft kombucha, and it's easier for us to market that way because that's a market that isn't saturated or it's not consolidated. I feel that the kombucha industry as a whole is really big and really powerful, but all of it is targeting 20% of the potential marketplace. So our goal is to find new places to have kombucha and not be fighting against those other brands for shelf space. The biggest surprise, I think it's been how it's been approached by the sports world. We've recently sponsored the CPSDA. This is linking us with university performance nutritionists and professional sports teams. And I think it's just athletes. It boggles my mind to think that a linebacker, some really tall, fast football player, basketball player finds the benefit out of this, and to watch it trickle down, that way. To go to the next level, our need, it's mostly for us around, managing distribution, cold chain. It's really hard to say. Kombucha is not like a soda, or it's not just inputs. So we're farming. And so it's not like we can just be like, hey, tomorrow let's brew 10,000 gallons of kombucha. It's like a slow process. So it's not like capital is going to solve the problem. It's almost like a strategic involvement on how to find new places for it and work with what we've already got to find, there's so many like airports and shopping malls and places that kombucha's not at throughout the country. That's, I think, where strategy could come in and help us. I would say that our attention to detail, that we're not going to cut corners, we're not going to compromise our product, we're not going to, cheat fermentation or add something afterwards to make it, more scalable. We're not going to do any of those things. We're going to continue to focus on getting the finest quality tea leaves that we possibly can and treating them in the best way. And it doesn't matter like where these get to, we're still be able to have a palatable product with the greatest source of ingredients. And